Okay, so today I'm going to do my long-awaited return to Hearthstone, and I guess I can't say I haven't played it in a super long time because I really haven't, but I guess I did just mess around with it on the iPhone stream once, like, you know, trying to do mobile streams, and I was doing all kind of random stuff on there. So I think I did try Hearthstone on there just to see what it would be like, and it worked okay, but whatever. I mean, it's everything on iPhone is inconvenient, right? Mobile versus PC, but effectively I didn't really do much with it there. And before that, it's been at least like 6 months to a year maybe that I actually, before I played it last, and I forget what I even was doing last. Probably just more of those gimmick decks that I always get distracted, right? Like you would, and I get to show off my art here for a second, but you know, I had done that pretty long-winded gimmick deck series where I tried to go back through all of my favorite gimmick decks with every single class throughout the history of the game. So it included cards like Explore Angoro for Warrior, Zinazari, and Renounced Darkness for Warlock, and like all other weird things that I tried to make, you know, just fun kind of things. It's hard to explain somewhat, but you know, the anti-spell mage, like where you have every elusive minion in the whole game, that's one of my favorite ones. I forget what I was even doing most recently, but it's just kind of like you commit to a mechanic really hard, and you know, you say like, okay, I want to have every card with this mechanic in the game. Sometimes what people misinterpret with it is too, is like, and maybe I should do this at some point, but like, I'm not trying to make the best deck possible that happens to include that card. Like, oh, could I make a Legend Caliber deck at any point in Wild or whatever that includes Renounced Darkness in it, right? Can I make the best possible deck that includes Renounced Darkness? Of course I could do that, but it would just involve not using it or using it very sparingly, right? The point of this is you're trying to play into the gimmick. You're saying, no, I want to use it like every single game, and I want to make a point to use it. Not that like, oh, I'll just have it in there and then not, you know, as a gimmick. No, it's like you want to play into the gimmick. You want to make it all about that. You want to actually, you know, regardless whether you win or lose, it's about playing into that and enjoying it. So, right, that's the point. Like, I hard commit to it, so it's not about just making it as good as possible. But at some point, I should maybe try to do that too. Where I can try to play around a gimmick, but I try to also incorporate newer cards, and I'll kind of take a brief look at that. But yeah, I'll do a little mini series. The main thing I wanted to do actually is I wanted to test it because I'm streaming on YouTube now for the first time, at least games on YouTube. I was just doing like the IRL stuff or the just chatting stuff, so I've kind of switched from Twitch to YouTube now. And yesterday I did my Skyrim Christmas special, so that was like my first gaming stream on YouTube, and it did have some quality issues and some stutters, so there are some big differences. I guess I'll give a little tutorial here before I start on like what I changed and what kind of settings I'm trying. So because it's very different than what you have to do on Twitch, and it kind of doesn't really tell you that super well. So, but no, the main thing I wanted to do is for the Whizbang New Year's. It's not quite a tradition, but I should almost make it a tradition where like I stay up till midnight on New Year's and I try to see how long Whizbang can last, right? If he can like last into the New Year's. That would me like doing a permadeath run of like between the two Whizbangs. I'll alternate, or like just how many games in a row I can win with them or something like that. But no, so on Twitch I would typically use 6,000 to 8,000 bit rate. I was using like 8,000, so I was using that yesterday too on YouTube, but maybe that caused some of the issue with why it was kind of stuttery and kind of blurry a bit and just messed up, which is, again, you're only playing Skyrim, the special edition, so it's not like it's the most demanding game either, right? So it shouldn't be an issue. So here I'm doing 12,000 bit rate because that's what's suggested, I guess, on YouTube for 1080p, right? Which seems crazy that it'd be like almost double that you're doing. Right, because Twitch is like more like 6,000 that you have to do. And then on top of that, I changed some of the other settings, like from X264 to the HVenc or NVenc NVIDIA thing, which maybe I should have had that anyway, because that's like hardware encoding versus software encoding. But for some reason, it was on the other one, X264. So I changed that. Then I changed a couple other things. Let me try to just lay it out for myself. Then that opens up a whole bunch of other settings like constant bit rate, 12,000 bit rate, 1 second interval, keyframe interval, slow good quality is the same, tuning high quality is the same, 2 passes full resolution is the same, high profile is the same. So yeah, pretty much everything is the same. The main thing I changed was the was just, okay, the bit rate is much higher here on YouTube, like 12,000 is what is recommended for 1080p, 60 FPS, whatever. And then the other thing is the fact that I'm using the NVENC thing, right, instead of the X264, which again, that could have just been a mistake. Like maybe I should have been using this anyway. But yeah, I noticed with that stream, again, the Skyrim one, that it was a little bit stuttery or blurry, so it makes me question kind of like, you know, what exactly would have caused that? Because again, a game like this probably won't be as big of a deal because there's not going to be as much motion, or it's just visually much more simple. But that's the main thing I care about is, well, I mean, the live stream experience too, but I care more so about the VOD aspect now, because again, Twitch is always pretty good about that. Like the quality of the VODs and stuff like that, I didn't have much of an issue with. So, you know, I don't want this to ruin the VODs with what I'm doing, right? Just by streaming on YouTube. Chicken rank 10, very fitting. I don't think I really care too much about messing around with any new cards, but there's always some fun gimmick ones that do come about, right? Like there'll be something that you can immediately just tell is like, wow, this is a transformative card. And or the thing I always was kind of looking for was the Spectral Ner'zhul, if we ever get that, but I forget how you even get it now, and you have to win like 12 things in the underground. What is going on? More gambling mechanics to, you know, rub the business model in our face here. Banshee Queen Sylvanas. Now this is a different one than the one I have. I have like the Ranger one in that 3D model too. I did kind of enjoy those 3D models, to be fair. Right, I got some of them. The Hunter one, the couple other ones, the Thirst Trap Ner'zhul, as I call it. I don't know. That one looks kind of bland, though. I'm not going to get it. The N'Zoth one is pretty sick. The eyeball, or Cthulhu, I mean. The N'Zoth one is sick too, but that's not even like that. It's just a regular. Oh god, Runestone's pay to win type. You know, you have to use real money. What was I saying? There's something I was looking for. Yeah, speaking of the Thirst Trap Ner'zhul, we have the Evolve thing. We have maybe the... Okay, again, this is all the elusive stuff, elusive gimmick coming to light. And so what that means is... Oh, we could do this too. I mean, I should use one that I'm kind of using anyway. Right, like I'm using Shaman, so we'll just do it, even though I'm not going to actually use it. But... It's interesting because if you make like a meta deck, it'll be like, oh, it feels too scripted, like you're meant to do this exact thing, and it feels kind of too contrived. But with what I do here, it feels like, oh, it could almost be the same, because I'll kind of alternate. If I lose with this one, I'll do the Shaman or something. But this is different because it's like there's no win condition. It's just like you're committing to a mechanic and you're trying to really rub it in your opponent's face. So like, what am I going to have here? I'm going to have like Lorthamar plus the Tortola Preserve Us dude, right, who's going to be the like 130, and then he'll be like a 260 and then keep doubling his attack and stuff. So when you soup up these elusive minions, it makes it very worthwhile because you know, you get to do whatever you want because right, you get to really rub it in your opponent's face, and no matter how good their deck is, you can sometimes run away with that too because you know, you have like a 20, 50, you know, elusive thing. What are they supposed to do with it every turn? Right, they're not going to have removal for it. Yeah, it looks visually clear to me, but I don't know how. I'm not going to worry about it too much, but I don't want that to mess anything up, but it already kind of did. And in fact, of all the things it could have possibly messed up, it messed up my once in a year session of Skyrim that I only played on Christmas, Right, it happened to be that one that I had to ruin by deciding to do it on YouTube, but and I'm not even bashing Twitch really, but I don't know. There seems to be a better algorithmic bonus, or sometimes you get that influx. That seems to happen more with my IRL stuff. Like when I'm driving, those streams will sometimes get those little algorithmic boosts. Whereas yesterday I didn't notice that as much on here, on the gaming capacity, but whatever. It's a lot of benefits to it. You know, for the uploading of videos, like that's one thing Twitch, even though I'm praising the quality of the VODs and how it saves that, what it doesn't do is it doesn't like the feedback on them through the algorithm or whatever, like they never get any views. Like in 4 years of streaming, typically they get hardly any views, 5 views, 10 views, if even that. But the, you know, most viewed one was like 200 something. The one PSA Walking Dead Stranger Danger with Clem and Lee, right, from The Walking Dead 1. But not only that, but like the YouTube has the likes and dislikes for them, and it's kind of like, you know, it uploads them as like a proper video too, so it saves you the convenience of not having to edit it, even though I do that anyway. Right, like I'll still upload these in some way, but I'll do it more so like where I combine it. So like I won't just upload this one session of me playing Hearthstone. I'll combine like the whole week upcoming, this plus the Whizbang plus the, you know, whatever else I do. I'll combine that all into one right, into one weekly kind of episode that I do like on my second channel. Whereas here you'll still have the full thing. I mean, the main difference will be not only will it be combined more, but it'll also be like where I cut out whatever time if I go AFK, or like the start at the beginning, right, where we kind of have the loading screen and whatever, like my channel art, and then I kind of wait a couple of minutes to start. Yeah, the volume actually seems kind of too quiet here. Oh, maybe that is resolution is custom, but why is it custom? It should just be... What does that even mean? I can't choose custom there. Or is this because I want full screen? Flavor text, favor art. Is that meant to be... Oh, like favor. Okay, I get it. Yeah, like, does this game feel outdated graphically now? Because I was never too impressed with it on the... I don't like the way the cards look on the board as much as I, you know, the art style is good, but there's something, I don't know. Or like everybody you're playing against is going to be a bot now anyway, or some shit. But yeah, if we get Lorthamar, we get some of the elusive minions. I guess this just never gets old for me, because you could say, oh, it's, you know, I've done these same gimmicks over and over, but I never have the time or patience to really make a new one or worry about that, right? But, and again, I don't play the game too much, so it doesn't matter, but... Right, like... It is weird, because it's like, I could do this like literally forever, and you'd be like, how come you don't get bored of it? But either it's because I'll do it now for a little bit, and then I'll take a 6-month break, and then come back and do the same thing, so then it doesn't feel as bad. Right? It's not like you're doing it every day back to back all the time. But then even beyond that, it's just like, I could be building towards, okay, I'm going to get a bunch of dust to try to make something current or relevant, but... I do like what they did with the Dark Moon Fair, how they made it like so nefarious with the some sort of old god connection, or I don't know exactly what they were even doing with it, but... So there's a Tortola thing, but that kind of messed me up, because what I wanted was the Lorthamar first, right? So I kind of fucked it up. Yeah, look how hard these will be to deal with for any class, or maybe there'll be certain things now that they can deal with it pretty easily, but... Yeah, this I don't mind playing against really good decks and getting destroyed too, but it's just kind of a funny thing that sometimes surprises people, or you know, they'll have all the power creep or something meta, but it'll still shock them, like what is this shit? You know, nobody's expecting to play against this. So like when that's an excuse too, like in chess or something, some really good player will say that, oh, I don't know this line, I don't know this thing. It's like, they're the good player, I'm not, but like it's still the same thing. Like, how can you use that as an excuse when you know, like, I don't know what I'm doing either, but it's like you expect that to be, it comes down to the fact of whether you're familiar with something or not whether you can just figure it out or you're just that good. It's like, oh, you only won because you did something I wasn't familiar with. But then I could say that too, like, yeah, I'm not familiar with anything, so. Oh shit, they're trying to copy me with the fucking elusive shit. Literally too, a warrior card, but I guess Lorthamar doesn't feel like he's really in here, but I could return something to my hand.
Do your worst.
I don't understand entirely why I just did any of that, but you know, it's like I have the temptation to try to get rid of it and trade in, but it's really not worth it. And again, that's kind of a nightmare. The same way that I use it is like, you know, it just makes these things so sticky and hard to get rid of, especially if you use Lorthamar. I'm not really worried about losing to that condition, but I'm more so just concerned about the... I so badly always wanted to do like a tournament, like how I used to host some of those tournaments in Yu-Gi-Oh, even if they were like small scale and stuff. I would do my own with like gimmick decks or decks from the anime, so like I could incorporate all of these gimmick decks that I've shown you, right, and let everybody else play as them as part of the tournament, and then see which one wins. And you know, you have to use one of the gimmick decks or some approved gimmick deck. Okay, I'm obviously going to get destroyed, but if we had gotten some Lorthamar earlier and a lot of this stuff, maybe it would have been harder to deal with. But this thing is actually a nightmare, though. It kind of is different dealing with it on the other side. Right, like it's so... What are you supposed to do with this?
Let me introduce myself.
Astonishing.
And I almost thought there should have been a thing where it overlaps, like this horseman with the other horseman from the paladin power or something. It's possible they might still struggle to deal with that, but it's just very, very annoying because, I mean, you're doing it more for the health value there. If you just get, you know, 60 health, the you know, Lorthamar, I keep saying it, but no, I typically never did this with a warrior. I did it with the druid. You might say, why did I do it with the druid back in the day with the elusive minions, where there were hardly any elusive minions in the game? Oh, because they had Tyrantus and they had some of the AoE buffs, which might seem really shitty, like, oh, 4 mana Pride of the Wild, +1/+3. But it was good because, well, good subjectively, but it was a good theme and a good gimmick. Like, you have all these minions that are elusive, right? I have every elusive minion in the game that I can use in that deck. And then what do? You can't heal them, you can't target them, right? You can't buff them manually, but you have these AoE buffs. So now I can give all my elusive minions +3 health, right? +1/+3, which is effectively healing them, even though you're not meant to be able to target them. So at that point, it was kind of novel because there was nothing kind of like that, and you're kind of doing something unique with it. And you also have a situation where it's a situation where, you know, you have with the mage, because of counterspell, you know, I would have Trogzor, I would have Counterspell, I would have all the elusive minions, I would have... What specifically about Mage, though, made that worth it? I guess not much really. Just some of the spells that like duplicate, so you can keep reusing some of the same ones over and over, or again counter spell. I can't remember even, but mage and druid were the two that, again, you're trying to counter spells and it complements it a little bit, and it kind of does it in such a way that, you know, plays into it a little bit, complements it a little bit. I mean, we could hang around with the we could hang around with the taunts if we are getting away with this, but now they're going to win with the win condition. I mean, this is looking so good still and promising, but what you really would have needed is Lorthamar, and you just don't have it, so there's nothing you can do about it. But yeah, this keyboard is so noisy. The one that I'd gotten with my little unboxing, that I do find kind of annoying. That was one thing I was specifically looked up, both the keyboard and the mouse. I was looking for like a quiet one, a silent one, so I don't have to. It kind of bothers me, but if it's noisy, but also it's just like, it's also a situation like, look what a nightmare this is for him to deal with though. But like, you know, I looked up specifically quiet or silent mouse or keyboard, and this is the noisiest keyboard fucking ever, right? You probably still can't hear it on the mic, but whatever, it's still annoying. And then the mouse is kind of moderately loud too. It is kind of cute though. It's like a nice compact kind of small one. Now we can make an epic comeback. I don't know if this is a bot or what kind of player this is that we're really dealing with, but I may as well just ignore that. I mean, like one more turn like that and they're just dead. But you kind of wear them out, and obviously if they get the 4 horsemen, that would be the 1 win condition. This could be a whole gimmick deck in and of itself, like the way that I used that Astral Tiger or something. Make it like a 10-10 with Splinter Graft or whatever, and then he, you know, whatever, it just kind of gets out of hand. The only thing I don't get with this is, let me check one thing. It lets you do the category, right? But, or it doesn't even let me do the manage broadcast in the middle here, does it? YouTube live control panel. My return to Hearthstone means one thing, gimmick, whatever, chat, rate. But no, like, what happens is, oh yeah, let me see if there's a Death Knight thing that I was looking for, because that Spectral Ner'zhul was kind of what I wanted, but it's still, I mean, I failed to get it anyway. But anything to do with Ner'zhul would be good. Red, I just wanted it in some form, especially him in the block of ice, which they even show you in the little
Our partnership is appropriate.
oh yeah, they did the crossover with like fucking StarCraft and stuff too. Kingbone, like I'm afraid of getting spoiled by a fucking card game because about another franchise that I haven't even played. Right, that doesn't even have anything to do with this. Is this supposed to be the Labubu Arthas or what the fuck? I don't know what some of these gimmicks they do even are. Or it's not even that. It's a shaman though. The jailer.
Comes for the soul of your world.
An eternity of evaluating mortal souls has destroyed his judgment, but not his power. That's the whole stupid thing, like with, because I haven't kept up with WoW lore obviously after a certain point, but like, oh, that's what they do after Sylvanas opens the whatever, opens the rift to the new expansion. I like when people defend all those kind of things too, like the retcon bullshit. Like they're obviously doing it just because they want the story to continue and they want to make more money in expansions. Like they never planned any of that, so I don't mind it, but it's like, don't pretend like it's something that it's not. Like, why can't we just get...
But it doesn't look like Caprulo.
Like, why can't you just give me just Ner'zhul? It doesn't even have to be a gimmick Ner'zhul, just straight up. Lady Vosh. But no, that's one thing that even just with coming back to streaming and actually finally uploading stuff or doing clips and saving VODs and stuff, that it gives me the ability to, like, a lot of my predictions of stuff from the past, whether it being like a story or whatever, something going on, like even the NBA or whatever, it's like, or some of the class extrapolations of what people would be like from other universes would be stupid, right? Like, even in universe, oh, they call Cthulhu is a druid. Like, really? Like, yes, he has to do with nature and bugs, but it's not really that simple. Or like, everybody's a warlock, all the badass characters are warlocks, like Sargeras, or the other dude, Sargeras and N'Zoth and well, not Cthulhu, but
I have had visions of death, and now you are here.
I mean, this is kind of the one that I kept wanting. So, like, I kept begging for some sort of Ner'zhul in the armor, which that kind of is what it is, like his disembodied self and whatnot. But the thing is that, obviously, there's nothing you can do with that because, right, like, I waited so long for it, and then when I finally get a chance to get it, then I can't get it because it's a very difficult unlock condition that I'm not going to take the time to really do. So we're stuck with this stupid Thirst Trap Ner'zhul instead, which is still Ner'zhul, I guess. But what was the other thing I was trying to say? I forgot. But oh yeah, like how you can't choose the game category. I feel like that would be a good thing to be able to do, right? Or there are categories like that on Twitch too. So how would it know? Right, like it says choose your thing, like gaming, but like overall, right? But yeah, it allows me to make predictions on stuff now that I actually save my VODs and whatnot. Like, not because of the YouTube thing, I'm saying in general since coming back here. That's something I didn't do in the past, which I kind of regret because I sometimes would make a very good observation or prediction, but YouTube gaming, choose category, live stream, right? Because Twitch at least has that where you can choose a specific game. Choose a gaming category for YouTube live stream, specific game in the stream's details. YouTube Studio, using keywords, or the live setup using keywords like the game's name in the title and description to help the algorithm find it. Auto-generated game page, because yeah, like I'm not streaming directly from YouTube like that way, so it wouldn't I don't think the OBS really lets you do it that way. Yeah, if you just put the name of the thing in there, that should help, right in the title, which I won't always want to even do that, but that is interesting though. The algorithm in these last two streams where I'm actually doing games isn't as good as it when I'm doing it IRL, like when I was doing the ones while driving. Right, for some reason that seems better. 5-1. No, what I mainly want is just Lorthamar, and so right, then we can show off some of the big values, and this is always what we just get stuck in the rut of doing this every time, which I don't not enjoy it, but it would be nice to maybe try to make something new or look at some of the new cards, but if we do that, we'll do it through Whizbang or through Renounced Darkness or something like that. Right, that'll be a good excuse to see the shit. Any sort of new cards. That's how lazy I would be about doing it. But you could say like, there's not much strategy in doing this. but it's just such a nice novel gimmick. Like if I get Lorthamar and I get a lot of good elusive stuff early, if I get them like on curve on turn 7, then I can potentially beat even some pretty good decks because they might just not be able to deal with it, right? It just depends on what sort of matchup you have. Most of these people so far aren't going to be too good anyway, but yeah, it's definitely different, and well, I mean different than what other people probably do, but not different for me because I always do the same shit over and over. I don't really want to do this, but yeah, I'm already almost dead to some shitty, you know, just they're not even doing anything, but I'm not going to have any spells, any removal, right? My only defensive play is going to be a rush to trade in or a taunt or something like that. This was like when they allowed, you know, Tauren to become paladins all of a sudden. Right, like talk about a fucking retcon. Or yeah, like in Wild you get all these, you know, goofy old different music and different arenas and stuff in a way that I'm not sure if that actually does happen in Standard, probably just from the current set, right? But I'm seeing like, oh, this is the grand tournament, like, you know, you wouldn't be seeing that normally now, or you shouldn't be seeing it. So it gives you much more variety that way. That's why Wild is just a good example of like, if the game is properly balanced and properly designed, which I know is hard to do with so many cards, but still, it should be the objectively better mode, because it's like anything you could do in Standard, you can do in Wild. You can just do more, so it's like a net positive. Why wouldn't you want to use like every card in the history of the game? Right, so would you rather have every card in the history of the game, or just limit it because, oh, they can't balance it properly, or some contrived notion of balance that's not even realistic? Like, yeah, these have been like sort of pseudo test streams, even though the last one maybe wasn't the best idea because that was a yearly special that I was trying to make a big thing out of it. The shaman gets cut off at the bottom there. I don't know why.
What is the meaning of this treachery?
So again, this gimmick deck is just all about evolve. Like every single evolve card in the history, they kind of, or not even really evolve, but whatever, anything that says transform in the description, right? Every single card in this deck has to have the word transform in it, except for, or either transform or summon a copy, right? Those are the two mechanics that we get, right? So
How astonishing.
we're losing to what could potentially be bots too. Like I wouldn't even know if these people are or not. Yeah, it is very odd how much I can always find this so enjoyable. Right, to just very, very odd play to make this early, but that was one series that I never got to. Didn't give like a proper closure to it. Was the Magic the Gathering series. Like I thought, oh, I'll try to make a run for Mythic, or I'll try to do something with it, and I just didn't do anything. Like I just abruptly ended it because, you know, that was like a first playthrough. I wasn't trying to rush it or do anything too substantial, and I was just enjoying different gimmicks and, you know, whatever. But I don't know, that community seems like it would be very try hard, which is fine, but there is like a middle ground. Like, do you really want to rush into trying to prove something when you're just playing it for the first time? Like, I almost feel like it would be better to do this first and then do that next turn, because right, that way I can like kind of pop it into an evolution immediately, right, with both of these. But yeah, everything is summon a copy or, and it won't say that exactly, but really this doesn't say copy, but effectively that's what it's doing. So I guess I'm taking some liberty with it, but those are the two conditions. It has to be transformed into something that costs more or less, or summon a copy of something to kind of feed into that, just to have, you know, more things to transform. So when this goes well, it can go really well, but when it doesn't, it can really fuck up too. 5 cost this. I mean, that's completely a pointless, you know, a lot of these with certain effects are going to be useless to you for their cost. Some of the legendary stuff is deceptive, right? Like, oh, would you rather have something that just increases the cost by 1 or something that makes it a legendary? Honestly, the +1 is often better, because the legendary can sometimes fuck it up. You'll have like a 9 cost and it'll become a 1 cost, you know, whatever, 2 cost Blood Mage Thalanos or something, right? Like, legendary doesn't automatically mean good, or even some of the really good legendaries are very contextual. They need like support of a specific type of deck and mechanic, so it's not really what you might think, right, that it's going to be the best. Yeah, I don't even know what expansion they're up to in WoW. Like, let me look. WoW expansions. Dragonflight 2022, The War Within 2024, part of the World Soul Saga. Midnight and The Last Titan are coming. It just feels like one of those things that overstays its welcome, you know, like the oh, I'm a moron. I should have done that first. But, you know, you might think, oh, it's hate, or like, because I haven't even played the game in a long time, I can't judge it. But there is something to be like, 10 major expansions, upcoming War Within. But why are they saying upcoming when that was 2024? They haven't updated these AI generated things on Google, right? But the War Within is like what's happening at Blizzard right now. It's really fitting. Journey through the never between subterranean worlds filled with dark depths of the Nerubian Empire. Didn't they already do that though? Subterranean worlds. What? The War Within, Midnight, and Last Titan. World Soul Saga. Does that mean it's going to be the end of the fucking game? Because, you know, again, it's the whole feeling of like, again, just sequelitis, or like just something outstaying its welcome. It doesn't mean it's bad, but it just means it's not going to be cutting edge or really inspired. And even when they do it like that, that's kind of like the Avatar issue. Like, oh, they're agreeing to the sequels already ahead of time. So it's like, you know, you go in with a preconceived notion, so now you're trying to like produce them all together. So like, why did Avatar 3 have more water than fire, even though it's called Fire and Ash? You know, because oh, they shot them together. They shot parts 2 and 3 together, so now they recycle some of the stuff. So that's kind of what you're doing here. Like, you might think, oh, this World Soul Saga thing could be cool, but it's actually just a way for them to save money and make them all together at the same time. And it's like, I don't know. I always respected WoW storytelling, but it's just like the War Within, Midnight, and the Last Titan, and that should be the end of WoW as we know it, but it'll never end because there's always the incentive to do that. 93% critics recommend. It's so hard to review those type of things too, because you know, you can't really experience much. Like how much would you have to play it? Like, oh, let's review Skyrim, and after 1,000 hours plus played, you still haven't done everything there is to do in it. So like, ones that cost 2 more. I don't know exactly what I was trying to do with this. Do random max 10, 10. We really have to get trolled by a fucking core hound. Yeah, this is not a bad setup. It's just like it's gonna be too easy to clear out with AoE for now. Yeah, when it comes to WoW, it's like, yeah, but how do you judge that? Like, oh, an open world game and you review it within the first week. It's like, I would hate to be a reviewer in that sense, right? I don't want to have to rush and be like, oh, I have an opinion on this game that could take 1,000 hours to really get the full experience, right? It's very hard to have an opinion on stuff like that. Because you, Wait, I'm just trolling. I had lethal. Or like I almost had a rule that, oh, I have to use every what the fuck? I have to use like every gimmick first. Like I have to use every transformation effect first before I can do lethal or win. But then everybody will just resign before I even do that. But like, so I'm not trying to BM you. I'm just trying to do my other subliminal win condition that, oh, I have to use everything first. Yeah, this will be a good way to test it. Again, I hate to abandon Twitch like that. I didn't mean for it to be like this, but it's just been convenient to do it on YouTube, especially for the whatever auto uploading and stuff. So I'm gonna maybe start doing this. The other thing I guess I could do is multi-stream, but move top 5 cards. Okay. Let's just make something fun out of this. Fuck it. As if I'm doing that as like a deliberate synergy, but I'm really not. Right, like what exactly is this gonna mean if we do it? I forget what, like, what does that even do? I forget, but like it could fuck me over as much as it fucks them over. Deal 3 damage after you draw. Shuffle 2 copies of this into your deck. Right, like it's like a suicidal pact that we're making. It could hurt me as much as it's gonna help me. Like as if we have an actual synergy. So this will be pretty fun to see that we have. Assuming that they all die first before I end up trying to, but no, this is so fun because you're kind of re-rolling stuff and you're playing it so dynamically and trying to like make the best of what you got. Yeah, these will be the kind of the 3 series I have ongoing right now. The chess up series where I'm trying to play that over the board on the camera. This I could do a little gimmick mini series again, and then I'm doing the iPhone mobile streams like while driving and stuff, IRL type thing. So nothing really too dedicated. And next year I would like to start doing the permadeath first playthroughs of new games and stuff, but Now I'm gonna totally troll the bitch because I want to I don't want to win. I want to, you know, get these effects going or have some fun interaction happen. That's much more important to me. Death Rot Maw. Summon a random fell beast. Some cards you can just tell they have arena in mind. Like they make with arena in mind. Now if we get one of the corrupted blood to kill him, I don't mind that, but I'm trying to just... I don't know what I'm even trying to do. Okay, the life steal could help you, but... I just want this corrupted blood shit to happen. That's the most game-breaking mechanic sometimes, where they have a taunt with lifesteal and it's like you were about to win, but this is the one card that felt almost like an exception that you would have, you know. It doesn't say summon a copy or transform, but it effectively does the same thing. Like, why would you have these? Because you're getting 5 cost for 10, which isn't even that efficient, but somehow, you know, now you can evolve these. I almost wish they would have cost 10, right? Sometimes things work like that where, oh, whoops, like it's a 10 cost card to summon it, so it also acts like each one costed 10, right? Sometimes they do it like that, so that would be so much better.
Tremendous.
I mean, he's not resigning at least, but... Or if they don't email back, they must be a bot.
Tremendous.
Again, the corrupted blood is gonna potentially kill me, so this is like the Hearthstone equivalent of Russian roulette or something. Just that you have, right? There's no guarantee it's gonna benefit me at all. Transform into legendary minions. See, like, that's so shitty. You get everything as a 3 cost, 3 attack. Malagos, one of my favorite characters, and I love the way he is almost like a good guy with his intention always that, oh, he knows that mortals can't handle magic, so I share the same philosophy with these decks. Like, I'm with the anti-spell stuff, like I'm trying to... End of your turn, deal 5 damage to a random enemy minion. But no, I don't like how the game's lost a lot of its personality over time, like where it just starts to feel sort of generic in a way that, you know, a lot of this is just kind of plug in, fill in, kind of window dressing, Warcraft theme park type of thing. Just that you know, it could just as easily fit into anything, like Asphyxodon. Like, is that really something in the universe, or is it just some, oh, this is a funny, cute idea for a mechanic and a minion and a name, right? Like, that's almost the gimmick card design thing. Come up with a funny or interesting little pun or name for something, and then we, you know, just build a mechanic around that, and that's enough to justify a card. Is it really something intrinsic to the universe? Is it really some enemy type that you fight or something? They might be, but it feels like a lot of things are just random at a certain point. They do end up healing a decent amount where, like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Where is the fucking corrupted blood, dude, when you need it? We had made 4 cards for this. We can't escape the chess imagery anywhere. We're playing fucking Pokemon Y, and then we run into the whatever. They have like a Bisharp and stuff. Like, chess is sometimes such a annoyingly used thing in fiction, the way that, I mean, I asked for it, but okay, let's do this. I don't know why I'm even doing it like that. do this. You could do your unstable evolution. Or I guess Nozdormu could have been worth it to keep around for a little bit. You're getting some pretty shitty pulls actually. Shuffle 3 bombs in your opponent's deck. That could be added to my Iron Juggernaut gimmick deck, like again, where you have all the stuff that's going to try to put bombs in there in your opponent's deck with the Dr. Boom hero card and stuff. Well, actually, that could be that could be saving me. I would have just died to that if. Oh, but the Carnival Clown is pretty sick actually for this interaction too. Now, am I gonna regret the fact that I didn't finish him off earlier? But not really, because I don't even still want to finish him off even now. But I maybe should have done the Wave of Nostalgia. That could kill him. That could kill him. We get exactly the perfect lethal honorable kill in exactly the manner that I want. We did the Warrior gimmick deck, elusive. We did this one. I kind of was saying like, oh, I'll do it until I lose. But do I have the Druid elusive one, or do I have something else? Now, this is more like the Armor Druid thing. It's like an Armor Druid where I was trying to stall things out and slow pace it a little bit. I don't know. Yeah, it's a good way to kind of just test it. I wasn't too sure what I wanted to do with this, but right, we'll do a little mini series on this and just again play with the gimmick deck. Maybe I'll look at the new cards. I really don't feel like doing it today. I find it kind of boring though to even do that, because again, I don't have any interest with like the current meta ever. But what I will say is that I feel like there'll always be a card that stands out, right? Like when we get the new Whizbang, right, with that expansion that we had a while ago, but like there'll be some cards like that still that fit into it. Again, Explorer, Angora, Zinazari, Renounced Darkness, Whizbang, things that are sort of transformative and just fun, whether they're good or not. Right, they're just kind of interesting like that. Okay, so today I'm going to do a little tradition that I guess I started maybe in 2023, and it's not really a tradition because I maybe only did it that time, but basically I'm trying to play Whizbang versus Whizbang, which means I'll use the 2 versions of Whizbang, and the old one and the new one, right? Unless there's even a newer one that came out that I'm not aware of, but I doubt it, right? Because that new Whizbang expansion came out, whatever, a couple years ago, I think. And so that introduced the new Whizbang, which kind of gives you, you know, the other one gives you like standard deck recipes of the current time, which is always good for someone like me who doesn't play the game very often to kind of just try and keep up with kind of newer stuff, right? But for the new one, it kind of just does these made up decks that aren't even real, right? You know, and cards that don't even exist kind of thing, right? So that can be very fun and interesting, and I haven't used that one too much really. So I had done that like going into the New Year's one year, I think it was 2023 to 24 would have made sense. So it's like try to see if he can last till midnight, or kind of like pit the 2 against each other, right? Stuff like that. So I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was something like that. Try to see which one can last longer, or see if together they can last into the new year. So I guess I'm starting this a little bit later than I should, because it's already almost, you know, 11:20. So even if it doesn't go on a very long streak, it'll probably last into the new year. So maybe that wasn't the best idea. But the main thing is to see which one does better, right? Which one do I win more with, the old Whizbang or the new Whizbang? And of course, I'm not going to know really what I'm doing with a lot of the new cards if, you know, we do get like a standard deck recipe and stuff. But yeah, what else was I going to say? Just like, this is only like my second time playing Hearthstone at all in a long time, right? Just, I don't have like an ongoing series with it, so I did it like maybe 4 or 5, like the day after Christmas. I think I did it just because, maybe in anticipation of this episode, or I don't even know exactly why. So it's not been something that I have had like a regular ongoing series with. The last series I did with it was only a gimmick fun kind of series where I just kind of mess around with, which I'll probably do if I lose as Whizbang, because it's like the music seems to not be working. Or no, it does now. We get to show off the little channel art for a second there, but it's like my AFK thing too if I go AFK. But like if I lose as both Whizbangs, right, I'm only going to give each of them 1 life. So it is a permadeath Whizbang special. I haven't played them probably in a long time, maybe even since I don't even have them as a deck. Maybe since I did that finale, honestly, because that's not something I typically use. I do things in a very like structured way. Like if I'm using the same gimmick deck over and over, and then I move on to another, and then I move on to another. So it's possible I haven't done it at all since then, or again, even we'll give them 1 life each, and then if I fail, I can mess around with some of these other gimmick decks that I have, like just mage, or not mage, but like whatever it is, just we could either alternate, or I could do the same one over and over until, because like it doesn't matter who it is, but let's pick like whoever we want to see the thirst trap. Nurzul, I guess. Who else did we have? I thought we had some other cooler skins, but basically, right, it's a situation where we did that gimmick deck series, right, where I just go through every single thing, all of my like favorite gimmick decks with each class over the history of the game. It could be Renounced Darkness for Warlock and Zenazari for Warrior and stuff like that. So we're gonna look for Whizbang. It'd be, how crazy would it be if there's another Whizbang? Let's start with the old school one. It almost makes it feel like I should rotate between the two instead of just doing. I will do that actually. Let's make another slot here. Right, you could do 1 until you lose, but that might get repetitive because of course I'm never gonna lose. So the experimental decks, I wonder if those change over time and stuff too, because people will be complaining about that in a vacuum too. Let's do the old one, and then we'll bring in the new. Out with the old, in with the new. But obviously if we lose as either of these, well, we have to lose as both, but like we see which one lasts longer. But no, the idea is I maybe should have started this a little earlier to see like, oh, can we last till midnight? Now it's almost inevitable that I, you know, it'd be unbelievable if I didn't, just because of the sheer amount of time. But either way, it's a situation where it's kind of like a gimmick deck concept in itself, but it's not really. And no, these decks will actually be pretty good because even though I'm not going to know exactly what the cards are, what the theme of the deck is per se, this will be my first time seeing these, but it's a great way to play the game. Like if you play only on an irregular basis and you just kind of want to see what the current cards and stuff like that are like.
Have a happy new year, or else.
Justice demands retribution.
This card is really part of the meta in 2025. Like, what the fuck? Some cards just never go away. Discover 3 cost menu with a dark gift. Force all enemies to attack this. If it's your opponent's turn, deal 3 damage to them. I don't know.
Repent.
I have no idea what the state of the game is really like, but it was just from what little I had seen before. Because again, I'm mostly just playing my gimmick decks, but it's finale. Wait. Oh, I guess that's just convenient, but it wouldn't matter. Like you know, you could probably find a better time to do that later. But it is a 3 mana 6/10, so it's like, yeah, who needs a 4 mana 7/7? You control an aura. I always control an aura, haha. It's just how I naturally am. I feel like I don't want to overcommit, but I also, you know, I'm just going with my basic instincts of like, oh, how I would normally play. But you can't really think like that because I don't know what the state of the game is like or would dictate at this point. So, okay, that could be very dangerous. So we should try to almost rush them down. But that move could be a little costly because, right, because they're leaving themselves sort of wide open. But I don't know exactly what the point of this is. Rewind or rewind, rewind. Maybe replayed for a potentially different, once for potentially different outcome. Well, why does it say it 3 times then? Okay. You don't have the aura thing. We could draw the card. My hero divine shield is not exactly what I want. I don't even need to do that though. I was gonna do that to like, look how easily I dispatched that clown actually. We're being a little bit annoying about this, but maybe I'm holding back a bit too much. Yeah, this creates a very dynamic, fun experience similar to Renounced Darkness or one of those things where it's transformative of your whole deck. This one maybe doesn't seem that exciting, the old Whizbang, because if you're familiar with the current decks and meta, it might not excite you that much. But the other one is always going to be exciting because...
Thank you.
Wait. Oh, fuck. Am I going to overcommit and lose? Like, I don't have... Paladin victory tier 1. But no, what's going to happen is... we could either alternate or we could do... It doesn't really matter, does it? Because it's not like we're playing as the same deck anyway with each of them. But that's 1 win for the old Whizbang. Let's see if the new Whizbang can keep up with that. But yeah, they're both fun. I mean, this one would probably be more exciting because the cards either don't exist or the decks themselves, you know, are just... Not even that they don't exist, but they're made up. Like, it'll be 30 of the same card, or it'll be like things that you can't even legally do, right? And this is always like the claim to fame for Hearthstone that I talk about. Like, it might not be as competitive or whatever as other games like Magic the Gathering or certain things, right? But all these sort of fun factor cards are definitely worthwhile. So what is so special about this? I don't get it. Oh, it's gonna have like 1,000,000 astral automatons or some shit. Yeah, this is almost turning into a tradition. In fact, I almost want to see what my other video on that was. Let's see if I can find it on Google just by looking up something similar to that, or YouTube, like Whizbang versus Whizbang, right? Like nobody else has posted that video. Or you know what I keep forgetting to do? Like on the thing, it keeps showing the stupid I have my channel art as like the thumbnail of this, but what do we got? Carnassus Brood over here or some shit. It'll be like, how do I even do this? Like the image of this, the thumbnail of my stream, right, is it's like the wrong resolution. Like, I don't know how you do that. How do you even edit YouTube settings on there? I don't even know. I've only just started streaming on YouTube, really, so, or especially in terms of gaming stuff. Mostly I've been doing it on my phone, just like IRL type things. Use a friendly minion, add a temporary copy to your hand. Cover a spell from my deck. You just do an endless loop with that. But no, I'm confused as to, again, how do you change the, like if I want to change the title, how do I do it? I don't see any way to manage the broadcast. That's so weird.
Thank you.
Okay, let me try. You go to like select stream, but then you can't do anything with it. This is so weird. Hang on. Add description. That is very odd. I don't know how you do this.
I wonder.
Huh. Whatever. Okay, so we got all these shitty things he's doing. Deal 4. Overheal, draw a card. I don't know if that's really worth doing or that should still count. Yeah, this is what it's going to be. It's just going to have a million of these. Which I don't know if there's maybe a strategically good time to save them for or something. First of all, I'm getting so distracted with this game. I was trying to look that thing up, but then I was getting annoyed by the fact that, because it showed like my current stream, and then I saw the resolution is bad, but that's not actually what I was trying to do. Old Whizbang versus new Whizbang. Like, where is my video on that, man? Or like, can Whizbang last into next year? That's what it was. I get like some feeling that I'm shadow banned or some shit on YouTube. Like, it won't show me anything. Right, like I can look up my exact title word for word, which probably nobody ever is going to do, right? But they'll still show somebody else.
I wonder.
Or yeah, like imagine this against meta decks. Like, it's not going to be very good, but it's it's going to be a situation where, like, imagine, oh, you have to play around the fact that I have a million astral automatons, and it's like I'm using an illegal deck. I'm literally cheating in the sense of, you know, it's not a real thing that you can do, so how can you play around it? Yeah, the only 3 YouTube gaming streams I've done in this whole like switch over that I've done is that's pretty expensive actually for what that is. But you know, I did the Skyrim Christmas special like I always do every year, like a Permadeath Skyrim session, and then I did Hearthstone the one day after, I think, and then oh, I didn't even realize I'm dead too. Oh shit, so this one's already gone. I wasn't even paying attention to that extent. But maybe there was nothing I could do. Reddit was just being too slow paced with the stupid astral guy. So the new Whizbang is already dead, so the old one already won. Okay, let me try to figure out a few things though. I'm a little annoyed. I don't know how to manage the broadcast and do that. Like, again, the thumbnail thing is wrong, and like the size, and then we also have, I want to find my other video to see what I titled it and when it was. So that's a good way to test what happens when it crashes too, because I'm not really as sure on YouTube what does happen. It usually doesn't make a new VOD. It'll just like cut out a second of it, or it'll like freeze or something. So I accidentally, as I was testing all this stuff, I accidentally knocked out my Ethernet cable. But basically, okay, I answered a few questions. So like normally in OBS, when you want to change the settings and the title and stuff for a Twitch stream, you go to docs and then you go down and it says stream information. But with YouTube, it doesn't do that. So normally it says it, I feel like, to the right of the, it'll say like start streaming or stop streaming, and then next to it it'll say manage broadcast, but now it's not saying it. It's like saying auto stop. So then I actually logged into my account on a web browser and then I changed it from there. And the main thing I changed with that is just the image, like my thumbnail image of my like channel art. It's not the right resolution by default, so I have to change it to 1280 by 720 and do it like that, just so there's no black bars, right? It's basically just the thumbnail for the stream itself. And then the other thing is I wanted to look back at my other thing, the Whizbang thing. So can Whizbang do the impossible and survive into 2024? This was, again, Hearthstone New Year's special. So that was 23 into 24. And then I don't think I did a 24 into 25, right? I certainly didn't. May 13th was the last time I mentioned Whizbang. So I guess I didn't maybe compare both the Whizbangs in that session. Or maybe I did, the 2024, but like that doesn't really mention the two Whizbangs. But then after that, April, or maybe it wasn't even out then because we were thinking this is early 2024. So I heard you like Whizbang, so I'm using the old one and the new one so you can see which. I'm just stalling time so I can guarantee to get to midnight even if I lose the next game. But so I'm using the old one and the new one so he can work overtime. The Whizbang Gauntlet continues. Which one will triumph? The old or the new? Whizbang or Bust, pitting the two of the most fun cards in Hearthstone history against each other. Boomer Whizbang may be wiser, but Zoomer Whizbang sure knows how to have fun. Battle of the Century, Whizbang versus Whizbang. Whatever happens, we're going out with a bang. Two Whizbangs, one life. Right, but these were all later in the year. Who will be the last gnome standing? The point is that the New Year's one might have just been with the old Whizbang because the new one maybe wasn't out yet. So that was 23 into 24. And then throughout the early 24, maybe when that expansion came out, assuming that's when it was, I think, like April and May of 24, that's when you did the... That's when you did the other thing. Right. That's when I did the Whizbang versus Whizbang. So I guess I'm combining the two. Where I'm doing the New Year special with Whizbang combined with the... So the other one already lost. So this one's already the winner. Let's just see if they can survive as long as I feel like doing it. But... Again, we had done the old Whizbang just to see if it could last into the new year. Of 23 into 24, but then later on when the new Whizbang came out in 24, we did the battle between the two like what we're doing now. So we're kind of combining the two, and you know, you could say I misplayed there maybe something, but get all 5 dream cards. If you played a higher cost card while holding this, corrupt them. This is maybe not a good reason to keep that, but cast 4 holy spells, Life's Breath. The problem with these presets is they can sometimes be just so slow, so... But yeah, it's a situation where... We'll just go as this one until I lose, and then I can maybe do a gimmick deck, assuming I lose. What is it again? It is 4 shadow spells, 4 holy spells. Ever spell from your deck. I mean, I don't like that infinite loop. Give me a minion 1/1. Give a minion +1/+1. 0 adjacent. Deal 2 damage. Deal 2 damage to your hero. Why is that even worth it?
Job's done.
The calm before the storm.
Okay, so let's just try to make this actually count as far as... I mean, you could do that, but I don't know if it's even worth doing. 0 if you played an adjacent card this turn. Some of these mechanics almost start to get desperate with their ideas, like, oh yeah, outcast. If you play the left or rightmost card in your hand, something happens. Like, is that really a good mechanic? Like, that's so arbitrary. Right, it's like when they run out of, honestly, ideas for mechanics to use. Yeah, the other one lost a bronze rank 9, assuming that even matters, but immune this turn and +2/+2. Wait, what was the other one? I couldn't even see. Silence a minion and give it -2/-2. I don't understand. Why would I even want to do that? Oh, it won't change once it's on there. It just changes in your hand. Gilneas brochure. I love the way they did that though. Like with, you could say, oh, it's unfinished, but like classic WoW had more than enough content. You can't really complain, oh, this game could take thousands of hours, but oh, it's unfinished. Like there were so many things that foreshadowed, right? Like the Grey Man Wall, or like all these empty areas, the stuff, the northern Blood Elf area, like that they kind of left stuff, you know, empty spaces on the map to foreshadow things that'll happen in the future. Right, there were a lot of places like that. Hyjal was on the map, the Maelstrom was on the map. It looked like even part of Uldum was on the map, like with that wall at the bottom of Tanaris. Right, the Baal Modan or whatever it was in the wetlands, that was like some of the Dragonkin stuff, Grim Batal or whatever. Right, there's a lot of great foreshadowing or different ideas, and then they take those things and turn them into later expansions. But Resurrected 1, 2, and 3, give them Reborn. I
wonder.
don't know what's going on. Like, this is cute, but it's like, I don't know.
The two are.
I don't really like the idea of that card, but I guess you can afford to do damage to yourself. This doesn't seem all that efficient. The reusability of it is good, but that seems like a bad transaction. Like, you played an elemental, deal 7, okay. Kind of a big deal because I have to, or well, I guess in theory, even if it goes past midnight, I feel like I should have to win at least this game. We would have won 2 as this, and then random enemy if you're holding both halves combined. I don't know what's going on with us. What is Kindred again? A bonus if you play the same spell skull last turn. Silence a minion. What is going on? What does this mean? I don't get it. It's immune, but how does that make sense? What is that? How can it be immune? That seems kind of bullshit. What do you mean immune, dude? I don't get it. Oh, I mean this turn. Never mind. I was gonna say. Yeah, we need that as an actual power creep mechanic, though. Just start making everything immune. Deal 5 damage to an enemy minion. Draw cards equal to the success damage. Some of these mechanics just start to become so wild, right? With how power creeped out the game is. You just do that. We're almost running the risk of running out of cards, though. Then random forecast mini, give it taunt. Kindred, do it again. Summon a copy of this. I may be fucked up with both halves of stuff, but whatever. So we have this. You know, we have a lot of good things. We should almost try to dump my hand a bit, even though I tend to not like to play like that. That's sometimes my mistake, because I'm too conservative, and then I end up losing before I use everything. Or you'd rather use what you got than lose without it. Shit, my phone's about to die that I'm watching the stream on, so we won't be able to see if people are talking in chat once I clearly win this game. I don't know what I'm even doing, man. Deal 3 damage. Okay. You got to know exactly kind of what this deck is trying to do, which I don't really understand, but as a priest would do, you're just trying to stall things out. Choose a minion as friendly, give it +2 health of an enemy, give it -2. Some of these effects actually seem pretty basic, like they don't really live up to the epicness of the way you think power creep should be and all that. And then we see an example of something that is very power creep. Now, so I'm going to copy this for each turn in a row you play an elemental. We don't have a very good AoE besides Light Bomb is kind of too expensive to be worth it. Here we go. Holy Nova. Right, that was kind of necessary because I can't take a chance with that amount of damage here. I could have killed like 1 or 2 of them more simply, but it'll be like this endless thing of just they have an answer for everything, I have an answer for everything. Some of these decks can be like almost Legend Caliber, and I know people might joke at that, but that Imp deck from when I got Wild Legend in 2022, at the end of 22, that would have been one of the Whizbang deck recipes, right? For Warlock. And so I got from Bronze 10 to whatever, Diamond 3. And I could have probably gotten Legend. It would have just taken a bit longer. It's like, you shouldn't need to do that because, like, what was I saying? It's like,
I lost my place. I will not wither away so
all right, just like the deck recipe can get from basically to Legend, which I don't know how many of those have been like that, but you would think they shouldn't be that good that they can do that. And I like how even as I was doing that run, people were saying, oh, this deck isn't even that good. And then I get from, again, all the way up to Diamond 3. It's like, oh, it's not that good. Then what is that good? You have to get to Legend rank 1 with it, which you probably couldn't do that, but you're getting kind of hard stuck around Diamond 3. What is gonna help me? What is gonna help me deal with the board right now? Targets are random, so I'm doing maybe a little bit too much to myself here. I seem to lag a little bit. Yeah, this is actually a bad thing because it's gonna fucking keep doing damage to me, so I could be easily dead. If not, I could try those dream cards. I don't know how much they cost, or all 5 dream, or wait, dream cards would just mean the Ysera ones, right? I don't know why I thought it was something else that I wasn't aware of. So the Whizbang went out sad, dude. Is it technically midnight? It says midnight here, but it actually isn't, I don't think. I even failed by that standard. Let me see, Eastern Standard Time now. It's 11:57. So even though I started late, even though I kind of was stalling out and wasting time and doing other things, I literally lost the first game with the new Whizbang and the second game with the old Whizbang, and they didn't make it to midnight at all. So what a shitty showing for that. That was really pathetic. And maybe it wasn't even entirely based on my misplays, although I probably could have done more in that one. Happy New Year 26. Ring in the New Year with Battle Cry. New Year Fresh hand, plenty of epic plays. The table set, card shuffled, laughter flowing. Pull up a chair by the heart. The party is just getting started. Okay. Be like the Karazhan type shit. Like, what expansion are we even on? I don't know. What is the current expansion? I don't even know what it is. Like, okay, Lost City, Time Ways, Emerald Dream, Dark Beyond, Paradise. Yeah, see, Whizbang's Workshop. It's almost out of the standard right now. Wild Sets. Let's reflect on, okay, Legacy, next Ramus. Right. Kind of ironic that it's the first thing to come out when it was the last thing of the first, you know, expansion in WoW. Goblins versus Gnomes, Grand Tournament. Some of the marketing at this stage was really good too. They would have all these ads that come out, and I don't know, they were really pushing it pretty well. The Old Gods, obviously, I always love that kind of Cthulhu Lovecraftian stuff. There's the Karazhan. Wait, is that the one that I'm thinking of, or did that come later? That is the Karazhan, like... I thought it was something long-winded, more long-winded than that. Like, Two Knights at Karazhan or something. It had like a longer name to it, I thought. Gadget Zan, Ungoro was good, right? I think you got the... Obviously, Explore Ungoro's in his art from that Frozen Throne. Some of these start to repeat, though, a little bit. Like, you know, oh, Lich King. What do you mean Lich King? Like, you already had the Frozen Throne, but... Kobolds and Catacombs saying... Yeah, they don't put the full name here. Witchwood, Boomsday, I love for the Dr. Boom thing, the 7-cost hero card. Rise of Shadows with some of those villain nemesis, whatever the hell they're called. Oldham, the dragons. This Galakrond might have been my favorite expansion, not in terms of the actual overall mechanic of Galakrond himself as a hero, but because of the simple fact that it had a lot of those elusive dragons in there that we ended up using. Like, to this day, that has some of the best and most elusive minions in it of any expansion. Initiate, I don't even know what that is. Outland, Darkmoon Fair, always nice tie into the whole Old Gods and stuff. And then the Barons had like that really sick background for the matches and the good kind of remix of music. Stormwind, Altric Valley, Sunken City, right, Voyage to Sunken City, Castle Nathria. So this is where we did the imp deck and the shit, where we got Wild Legend for the first time, right? It was right when this had come out, or I guess it must have been, right? We were using that imp. I mean, it was either as soon as it came out or maybe immediately after, like the next expansion. But no, I think it was during that. The Lich King again, which is like when obviously the Frozen Throne is when the hero cards got introduced, and the Lich King is when the Death Knight got introduced. Will they ever add the Monk hero class is the big question. Festival of Legends, the Titans one was, I mean, this is probably the most substantial lore wise. Like, they were maybe saving that for a while. Then Badlands, and the, you know, the Wild West theme that they had with that. I like how much they extrapolate on it, right? It'll take, oh, this is just some little desert zone, cute little thing, but they turn like every single zone in the game. Like, think about the disparity between these. Like, the Badlands is some random level 30 to 40 something like that zone, right, in classic WoW, and there's a bunch of wolves and, you know, whatever. There's Oldamon and stuff in there, right? So it's like, it's just a zone. It's just a random zone. It's not that big of a deal. Whereas Titans is like, oh, this has to do with Sargeras, and this has to do with the Pantheon and the entire universe and the creators of life. And like, oh, wow, like these are totally on the same par with each other, right? Some little random shitty level 30 zone versus like the creators of the universe themselves and the entire Pantheon. Like, it doesn't seem very equal from the, you know, basis of one being an expansion or another. Like, even in the context of WoW itself, this would be like, oh, this is Mists of Pandaria, and this is like, whatever, Legion or something more significant. It's kind of ironic. Whizbang is kind of about to go out of the meta. The Whizbang, this must have been, again, early 24. Perils in Paradise, The Great Dark Beyond, also having to do with kind of like the Titans and Sargeras kind of stuff. In fact, I almost don't get what the difference with that would have been. I can't remember. I did play it sometime during some of those, but Emerald Dream or like Emerald Nightmare, Lost City, and like what even is that? Some of these will be like from newer expansions of the game that I'm not even familiar with what the lore is anymore, right? I haven't kept up with it. But also it's a situation where maybe I should try retail WoW one of these days just to fucking see what the state is in. But no, it's like the one thing I don't like is how they kind of make their own lore for this game at times. Like they'll invent their own lore characters when they shouldn't need to do that, when the lore is already so rich, right? Or they kind of insult the lore characters already that are there and kind of make stupid versions of them, like I've already criticized, like the Thirst Trap Ner'zhul and stuff like that. So maybe I don't even want to do more than that. That was kind of a disappointing episode. I kind of started late. I'm kind of tired. I wasn't expecting. I made it to midnight, but it's like fucking. We started 11 something, and the Whizbang flames out. I could just do a gimmick deck if I want, but I can do that anytime, I guess.